KNUST-TEK TV. Experience educational television.
Center of Excellence for Housing Studies, KNUST, in conjunction with Center for Settlement Studies, College Research Office, and College of Arts and Built Environment, organized a public lecture on Monday, 26 March 2019, at the Faculty of Arts Conference Room. The theme for the program was Ghana Beyond Aid, the Role of the Housing Sector. The head of department for the Center of Settlement Studies, Professor D.K. Ahadze, gave a welcome note and introduced the chairman for the lecture, Mr. Samuel Amegayibo.
Vancouver, the creation of human settlement. By that time, we were supposed to address housing in developing countries, but it was getting worse. We went to Turkey for the Istanbul conference. We are still getting worse.
The provost for the College of Arts and Built Environment, Professor Joshua Ayakwa, gave an overview on the theme for the program.
I'm so happy that this public lecture has come on. Public lectures are organized as occasions for experts, intellectuals, professionals to come together to share ideas on important national issues that border on their specialization. Today's public lecture was themed Ghana Beyond Aid, the Role of the Housing Sector. And as has already been said, it is to discuss a very important and bold policy that this country has ever introduced. Ghana Beyond Aid. Recently, one of our lecturers put up an exhibition which he themed "The Hand is Not for Begging." And it was very interesting. In Africa and other countries, most of the times we go about with a cup in our hand, begging for food, begging for resources across the world. The time has come for our country to take a bold decision and say that enough is enough. We are not going to beg, even though we are not going to reject support, but we are not going to have a cup in hand to go around the world begging for resources. We will develop this country within our own resources. And it is a possibility. And in Africa, I think this is one of the very bold decisions or policies that has come up. And we are all supposed to support it to succeed. Today we have one of our most senior professors in our college who is standing up to speak on this important issue. And I told some of my heads of department this morning that this is not only an occasion to come and dialogue and discuss. We are also expected to learn a lot from what is going to happen here, because as professors, as experts, we are expected to be able to give public lectures wherever we go.
The main speaker, a lecturer at the Department of Architecture, Professor George William Kofi Ntim, presented on the three main importance of man: the housing development in Ghana, and how the local materials used for building is going to help the country Ghana.
The three most important things are food, shelter, and clothes. So we're going to replace shelter with housing in this discussion that we're going to have this afternoon. Housing has several definitions, but for the purpose of this presentation, it shall be defined as the provision of accommodation with all the necessary facilities and services which make life worth living. Ghana's population is now estimated at over 30 million, with rapid urbanization of several settlements. Many of us are aware of the fact that the boundaries of settlements, urban settlements, for example, Kumasi, have been changing over the years, and our urban settlements are growing larger and larger. When we talk about settlements, we're not only talking about the physical buildings, but all the other items that go along to make living worthwhile. And that includes basic services, roads, water, electricity, and all those other things. So we are arguing that human settlements in Ghana lack critical dimensions of such organized activity.
When that building, that project was used as a Tishnumba estate, everybody sold his house except Hydrophone Estate. Because the typical Ghanaian walks through it and he says that he doesn't want to live in Atapame building. That we free Gracia Bangraguma on Sabato Atapame. So that was the attitude of the Ghanaian populace towards the use of those machines. So much as we are calling for, you know, the Ghana Beyond 18, and we are looking at this technology potential, our own attitude must be worked on as well. We must start from that level. I believe that we have to technologically improve it to look very attractive. But we must accept ourselves what we want. A typical Ghanaian comes to your office to buy a house. All he's holding in his hands is about 100,000 Ghana cedis. But he wants everything. You understand? And so it is not helping the investors to invest in those areas because it's a big risk. And you know what happened with the hydrophone technology? After he built his house, a few people who had the courage to buy it, as soon as they started living in and telling the story of the humidity, the temperature of those buildings, when the weather is very hot out there, it is very cool inside, and when it is very cool outside, it is warm inside, then they regretted, and then there was a purchase for the commodity. Understand? But that was a risk on the part of the investor, and it is difficult. So much as we are calling for this is, we as ourselves also try to change our appetite and then also put our attitude towards some of this for it to work in it.
Professor Joshua Ayakwa interacted with Tech TV News.
For many years in the past, we've talked about the use of local materials for building construction. It is not a new idea. In those days, I pioneered the use of timber, and we even did prototypes. We did actual construction to be able to compare with concrete blocks, the conventional buildings. But very little effort had been made, and we are still doing what we know, what we've seen. Imported materials. Cement is very expensive. Steel is very expensive. They are all exotic or imported materials. We have other materials here. We are saying that there should be a mix, a combination of these materials. Certain percentage of local materials being combined with foreign materials. That's the only way that we can break this myth about housing deficit. If we decide to go for foreign materials as Ghanaians we are used to, there is no way we can bridge this gap or deliver what we need. What we have to do is to look into the country. Bricks is very good as a building material. Timber is good, even though the forest is getting depleted. There is the need to continue to do plantations, raise the timber that we can use, so that we can process. In Europe and other places, they are using plantation species for their construction.
Professor George William Kofi Ntim spoke to Tech TV News.
The issue of people living in kiosk has got to be seriously examined, because I think only last week somebody got bent at Asafo, you know, in a kiosk. When the fire started, nobody could save him, you know. I think you need to look at various things. For example, electrical connections in those places, they are not well done. Sometimes it's improvised. People do it on their own. So I think you're asking for trouble if you encourage such a development. You know, so it's something that I don't think should be encouraged. If you need to do anything, then maybe you may have to at least plan what has got to be done. Plan it in a way that you avoid some of those imminent dangers.
It's a process. It's not a project, okay, where you just execute buildings and forget about it. There has to be that consistency, that revolving arrangement where houses will be turned around. If you look at statistics, our population is growing, more marriages are being contracted. That is telling you that more children will be born, our population will increase. So if you approach housing in an execute and go agenda, for me it's not sustainable. So whilst you are looking at the medium term, That is where you can come in with some of these fast technologies to quickly address some shortfall, okay, to sort of settle it a bit. Then you have that long-term approach ongoing. So if you go into technologies like this, you are not going to increase local capacity. You understand? That means we will be sitting here, people will come and build for us and walk away. And sometimes the manuals they will leave for us, we are not able to even maintain these buildings. We have to go back to them and get them back to come and repair. So we must have an arrangement. Let's look at our own traditional construction methods. Like all the professors and all the learned people who came to this room were saying, that let's look at our indigenous approach to housing. See what can be done to improve it. And as you are doing this improvement, you are increasing local capacity. You understand? First of all, the advantages with this arrangement is that our local people will get jobs to do. You understand? This technology that we have imported that is building houses in 11 days. Who benefits? You build a house, what is the end? The people who will come and live in the house, don't they have to earn a salary before they can even pay you the rent? Where do you expect them to get the rent from? So you need to integrate it. Give people opportunity to benefit from the project.
Tech TV. Experience educational television.